You're being taught how to lose money, and the worst part, you don't even realize it. See, everyone's teaching you the same thing. Find winning products, test trends, run some ads, make some money. And yeah, that works for like 3 weeks, but nobody teaches you how to build something that actually lasts. The whole approach right now is built around chasing quick wins. Find a product, ride it until it dies, find another one over and over. But quick wins don't compound, they just reset you back to zero every time. So here's what actually happens. You follow all the steps. You pick a product, you set everything up, you spend money on ads, and then nothing. Or you lose money. Everyone just tells you you need to test more products, or you didn't spend enough on ads, or the market is too saturated. But that's not the real problem. The real problem is that you're optimizing for the wrong thing. So in this video, I'm going to show you what I'd actually do if I were starting from zero today and how to build something that compounds so you're not starting over every month. Let's get into it. I am not a dropshipper. I never have been. And yeah, I know that sounds crazy coming from someone who's built multiple 7-figure stores doing exactly what everyone calls dropshipping. But when I look at it, what I'm actually doing, I'm a middleman. I'm connecting people who need something with people who can provide it. The same way that Uber doesn't own cars, Airbnb doesn't own homes, Amazon doesn't manufacture most of what they sell. But the best example of this is Gymshark. You see, they started out dropshipping gym apparel from suppliers, but they didn't stay a one product store chasing quick wins. They built a billion-dollar company because they understood they weren't in the product business. They were in the customer business. And that changes everything about how you build. You see, most people treat dropshipping like product flipping. You find something trending, you ride it until it dies, find the next thing. And that's why it has such a bad reputation. But when you realize you're a middleman, you stop chasing products and you start building something that actually compounds. So in this video, I'm going to show you why being a middleman is the best method out there, how it works, why it matters, and what you'd actually do starting from zero in 2026. Let's get into it. So why is being a middleman better than traditional dropshipping? Well, with dropshipping, you are basically gambling. You're looking for the next hot product, hoping it takes off before the trend dies. It's like trying to win the lottery every month, and that works for a little bit, but it's not sustainable. You build a store, you make a few thousand, the product dies, and you're back at zero. No recurring revenue, no brand, no momentum, just starting over again and again. That's the problem with dropshipping. You're relying on products to make you money. Now, the middleman method flips that. You're not riding trends, you are solving actual problems. You're focused on who you're selling to. Now, instead of being a product flipper, you become the connector between people who want something and the best way to get it to them. And when you build like that, you're not starting from scratch every time. You're building an audience, you're collecting data and improving systems that make your business stronger every single sale. And that's why I always say, I am not a dropshipper. Dropshippers play short-term games, middlemen build long-term businesses. And if you want to build something that actually lasts in 2026, something that compounds instead of resets, you've got to think like a middleman. So let's break down exactly how to do that step by step. All right, so before we get into this, I need to explain the approach that we're taking here because most people just jumped straight into finding products and building stores, and that's actually the problem. Here's the thing, when you start with the product, you are essentially gambling. You're hoping that you picked right, and if it doesn't work, you just wasted weeks and hundreds of dollars. So what we're gonna do instead is we're gonna validate everything before we spend real money. And that means you find demand first, so you're confirming people are actually making money on it. Then you build fast to test, not to be perfect, but to gain proof of concept with a minimum investment. And then, this is the part that most people skip, once you know that it works, you build the stuff that actually makes you defensible, the Moats. And that's the approach. You validate, you test cheap, and then you invest in what makes you different. Now, the reason why this matters in 2026 specifically is because ad costs are higher than ever, tracking is messier, and customers are way more skeptical. So you can't afford to just throw stuff at the wall anymore. You need to be surgical. So here's how to do it. All right, so the very first thing is finding your community. And here's the thing, most people do this completely backwards. They find some random product on TikTok and then they try to figure out who to sell it to. And that is why they fail. Now, what you want to do is find people who already have a problem and then bring them the solution. So let me show you exactly how I would do this. And then before you invest in any paid tools, I want to show you a free method. I call it feed conditioning. First thing that you want to do is set up a fresh Instagram account. And then for the next 20 minutes, just engage with every product ad that you see. I want you to like the post, save it, click through to the website, and you can even comment if you want to go to the extra extent. And so what's going to happen is Instagram's algorithm is going to be like, okay, this person likes product ads because they're engaging, they're liking, they seem to have some interest, and maybe they might actually want to buy something. And your feed is going to flip dramatically. So within anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes, you will start seeing product after product. Now, here's the important part. When you are looking through all these product-based ads, I want you to look in the comments, and we are not looking for products that are making people say, oh, that's cool, or this is really nice, or maybe even I want this. We are looking for products where people are tagging their friends and saying things like, we need to get this for the trip, or finally something that actually works, or why didn't this exist sooner? You see the difference? One's entertainment and the other's actual demand. And you want to check when those comments were posted. So if you're seeing these these comments from days or hours ago, 30 minutes ago, that's a really good sign. That tells you that the product is working right now as of this moment. And I want you to look for complaints too. If people are saying, I love this, but I wish it came in different colors, believe it or not, but that is a good sign because that's a potential angle for you. Now you can do the same thing on Facebook. Just scroll, engage with all these product-based ads and let that algorithm start showing you more and more opportunities. So to recap, fresh account, engage with product ads, look for comments showing real demand, and pay attention to the recent engagement. And that is how you find products within communities or niches that people actually want. All right, so now that you found products with the right signals, the next thing is validation. And just because people are commenting on a product doesn't mean that it's making money right now. You need some sort of way to verify that. So let me show you how I do this. The first method is the Meta ad library, and I will make sure to leave a link to the Meta ad library for you guys to easily access. And so let's just say that you found something along the lines of these loop earplugs right here, noise reduction earplugs, either for concerts, sleep, focus. You know, when you're looking at all these comments, the comments look pretty promising. Really nice website, so on and so forth. So the first thing that you want to do is go to the Meta ad library, and you want to specifically search for the brand itself. So it would be, in this case, Loop earplugs. You can generally go to the bottom and find their Facebook page just like this. This is one of the easier ways to get to the Meta ad library of this exact company. We'll go to the About, we'll go down to page transparency, we'll go to see all, and then we will go down to go to ad library, and it's going to direct us right to their ad library with all the active ads that they're running for this product. You can also type in the product name itself. This would just be like earplugs or noise reduction earplugs, and it'll pop up all the competitors or any store that is running ads with that exact keyword. In this case, we're going direct to Loop. So now that we can see all these ads right here, what we're looking for is if we see that they just started running these ads, let's just say a month ago, and it's still active today, then that is a good sign. Even if we scroll down to months ago, that is a good indication because no one's just going to continue to spend money on these types of ads if it is not making them money on a daily basis, because they'd just be losing money because of how expensive Facebook ads are. So that tells you that the product is validated. People are actively buying it as of now for this specific company. Now, the ad library works really well, but if you want to see things like the actual amount the companies are making per ad, how many ad sets that they're running, the store revenue, and even the store traffic, I like to use this tool right here called Moat. And I'll make sure to leave any discounts or free trials that I can find for any of the tools that I use in this video below. But anyway, once we're in Moat, what we want to do is we want to head over to ads, and then we can specifically look for the competitor brand that we just searched up. In this case, it's Loot. Now, the reason why I find this so useful is because of these filtering options that we have on the left-hand side. So with the normal ad library, I'm just kind of scrolling through endless amounts of ads. With Moat, I can specifically toggle between these various filters. So you can see that I have already pre-selected I only want to see videos. I only want to see ads that are currently active, not non-active ads. And then runtime. It's going to then filter ads that have been running. In this case, I've selected for more than a week. And then from here, it's going to populate all of these ads. It'll show how many ad sets are using this ad, how long they've been running. So if we click into here, we'll be able to see the views. We'll be able to see the description that they're using, the destination link that they are sending us to, of course, the website, and then similar products that are similar to this ad. So now if I want to get a deeper dive into this store specifically, all I have to do is go to trending shot and then type in the store name right here. All right, so now that I'm at the dashboard for this store, you can see everything from the monthly visits. We can see that they're doing 2.8 million visitors per month. They're doing about average 25K per day. We can see the best selling products, their best performing ads, along with the Shopify apps that they're using, all of their products, and then we can see all of their ads just like this. So really cool feature. All right, so I'll search for this product on Amazon, and I'm specifically looking at these reviews, and I'm looking at the 3, 2, and 1 star reviews. I want to get to know what is actually missing with this product, what isn't hitting the mark with this product right here. After you scroll through all these reviews, you might find something along the lines of, I love this, but I wish it had better instructions, or this works really well, but cheaper quality than I expected. And again, that is your competitive angle. All right, so to recap, the Meta ad library works for checking how long brands have been running ads, along with how many creatives that brand is running, so you can tap into their marketing. But if you want to see the revenue data, the tracked stores, a filtering by the actual spend and ad sets, and just have like an entire overview overview database, you would use something like a Manea or a similar tool to save you time. All right, so once you've validated the product, it is now time to build your store. And honestly, this is where the approach has changed the most in the last year or two. Now, it used to be you would spend like 2 weeks setting up a Shopify store. You'd pick a theme, customize everything, write all your copy, set up all your pages, and then by the time that you're done, you forget why you even wanted to test the product. But now the goal is not to build a perfect store. The goal is to get something live that looks legitimate enough to test with and then improve it as you go. And you can think about it like this. If you have already validated that people are buying this product, you saw the revenue data, you know it works. So the store isn't the variable that you're testing whether you can make this work with your ads and your execution, which means the faster that you can get a functional store up, the faster that you can actually start testing and making money. So let me show you exactly how I do this if I were starting today. First thing, you need Shopify. Pretty straightforward. You can head into the description of any one of my videos and I will attach a $1 offer for 3 months. So that means that you're going to get Shopify for a single dollar for 3 months. You're not going to find a better deal than that. So pretty simple. You just enter your email like this, press go. All right, so as you can see, the $1 offer is attached to this exclusive 97% off discount. I'm just going to subscribe for $1 and we should be good to go. Now, before you even touch the store design, you need to get your domain. So as you can see, my store URL is going to be something along the lines of gibberish.myshopify.com. Mine is trkwik-67.myshopify.com, which looks terrible. So we need an actual domain to start things off. First thing that you're going to want to do is go to settings. After that, you're going to want to go to domains, just like this. Now, I personally like to use .store domains. And the main reason is that it just makes it really obvious about what your site is or what you are doing with your website. So if someone sees MrBeast.store, they immediately know that it is an online store and that they're selling something. So there's no confusion. And then on top of that, there's actual data that shows that the .store domains get better traffic and ranking. We can see that we have like CR7 fragrances.store. But honestly, the bigger thing is just the clarity. So let's just say that we're going after that noise reduction earplugs like Loop is. I would search something along the lines of Quiet Life or Focus Ear. And also I would highly suggest you guys using AI, ChatGPT, or whatever AI tool that you use to come up with brandable names, because I think it's much better if you're not very creative like myself. But in this example, we're just going to use Focus Ear. And we can see that it is available. So I'm just going to add it to cart like this, proceed. First of all, you don't need the privacy protection. This isn't absolutely necessary. And it is $29, but if you use my code, you're just going to get it for 99 cents. So it's kind of like a no-brainer. So you can see that it is now from $29 to only 99 cents for you guys to get your own custom domain, so that whenever someone types in focusear.store, they're going to get redirected right to your website. All right, so once we go back to here, as you can see, it's a very simple connection process. All I have to do is connect the website just like this. Shouldn't take you more than a minute or two. And now that the domain is connected, let's actually start to build the store. And here's where most people would start customizing a theme for the next 3 days, or being really nitpicky about what they want. Don't do that. So what I use instead is this tool right here called Drop Magic. I use pretty much every single store builder that you can possibly get your hands on, and this one is the best of its kind currently. I will leave a link for you guys to easily access it below. Now, the reason why I'm recommending this specifically is because it's the fastest way to get from zero to a store that actually looks like a real brand, even if you have no coding experience or color theory understanding. You give it a product, it generates the entire store structure. So the product pages, the home pages, the policies, basically everything. And it's not using some generic template. It's actually building it based on your niche, your product, but most importantly, your chosen angle that you select. Let me just show you how to do this. So pretty simple. Let's just say, for example, this is our main competitor right here, Loop, or we could even just find the AliExpress link. You can do either or. So I'll just like drag and drop like this. So we can either take the listing right here and drop it into Drop Magic, or you can just take the competitor link like I'm doing right now, copy and paste. You can see you can add an AliExpress link or Shopify store, Amazon store, Etsy store, and it's going to start doing its market research. It's going to scan the page. It's going to figure out what this is selling. It'll read all the copy, pull all the images, and then it'll start doing its thing. All right, so we can see that it has come up with a product score. Let's build your store. Of course, I want English. All right, so who are you selling to? This depends on the angle that you are going to approach this product with. Are you going to be targeting people for sleep? Are you going to be targeting people that want to go to events elements and reduce noise. So you can choose as you want. I'm just gonna go with, let's just say, concert enthusiast. It's gonna go here for our hook angle. Okay, and we can go in with stylish sound protection. So people that still want to look somewhat decent without having super big bulky earplugs. So it looks like it has chosen selected images and then also pulled some AI generated images, which is really cool. So that's another thing. It'll automatically create AI generations for you without you even asking. So we'll go to our store, we'll select all these images, and then we can see that it's starting to build out the theme. As you can see, it has populated a page for us. It has used some of the AI images like this, and it has created a structure that looks off of ground zero really good, really clean. And this is what the product page looks like at the moment. Looks like we still need to fix this image. Let's just do it right now. What's really cool is that it integrates Nano Banana, and we can basically edit this image however we want. Or you can also add in a reference image to make it look however you might want it to look based on a competitor. I said, make this image look clearer with a concert background. And look at that. And obviously this is first go. It's not absolutely amazing, but yeah, just crazy that you can do that simply all on one platform. This is what the product page looks like. It builds out a product page. It also builds out a home page. Same thing. We've got the home page that looks like this, and then we have a reviews page. If I want to add another product, all I have to do is press add a new product, paste the product URL from another product like this. If we find different product variants, let's just say I wanted to go with the dream version, which was for sleep. I can import that by simply taking the link of the competitor, or same thing, can go onto AliExpress, find another product variant, add it into there, and then it's going to formulate a product page specifically for that product SKU. We can change and toggle with pretty much all the settings on the sidebar like this. So templates, colors, fonts, so on and so forth, icons. I can also add in a section. If I want this on my product page, I can generate this, and it's going to generate your brand versus the competitor. So you can see what fits best on your store between, like, product pages, various features. We can even add like a reviews tab, a sticky add to cart. So if I wanted to add in the sticky add to cart, we can see that it's now here on the bottom, so that when I am scrolling, it's constantly right here to remind the customer to add that product to cart. So there's all these little things that you can play around with. And then once you're like, okay, this looks pretty good, I'm happy with how it looks, you can scan this QR with your phone and see exactly how it looks like live at the moment from your phone. Once you are happy, you simply just press publish. You connect your store, and since we already created a Shopify account with that $1 offer, we just clicked existing Shopify store. We go back to Shopify just like this, and we copy our URL right here. We go back, and then we install it and we connect. Now it's going to go ahead and connect to Shopify, and the store has been connected. So if we go here back to our online stores, we go to themes. So we'll just go into customize, and we can still make any adjustment that we would like on Shopify. We can still, move the banners just like that, so on and so forth. But I just think the UI is better on Dropmagic. Either way, it doesn't really matter, whatever you find most useful. But the main thing is that your store needs to look legit enough that someone will trust you with their credit card. And that's pretty much it. Everything else you can dial in later as you progress, as you learn more about your audience. All right, so your store is done. Now you need to make sure that when someone actually buys, the product gets to that customer. The next part of this process is fulfillment. And look, when you're starting out, using a fulfillment tool is totally fine. It gets the job done. Orders are going to go out automatically. You're not doing everything manually, which is good, and that works. But the thing is, if you actually want to scale this and build something real, you need to understand how to source your own agent at some point in time, not just rely on a tool that everyone else is using. Because when you have your own agent, everything changes. You get competitive pricing, you can negotiate, you can arrange custom packaging, you can get access to alternate shipping lines, so you are getting faster shipping than your competitors. And you can even work with them to customize your own product or source other products down the line. And that is what actually separates you from everyone else. Now, here's something that most people don't know. When you're looking for agents, don't just search on AliExpress. Go to 1688.com. It's basically Alibaba's domestic Chinese site. So the prices are going to be way better because it's meant for Chinese buyers, not international buyers. You'll see the exact same products that you see on Alibaba for like 30 to 40% cheaper. You just, need to convert the currency from Chinese yuan to USD or whatever your currency may be. Now, the site is in Chinese, so you'll need to use Google Translate. But take note that when you find a product on here, you reach out to that supplier and ask if they work with agents who handle international orders. Now, most of them do, and because you found them on 1688, you're already starting with better pricing than if you just went to AliExpress or even Alibaba. Here's how you actually reach out to these agents. Now, the easiest way is going on 1688, or you can even use Alibaba if you want. Find suppliers that carry your product and message them directly. Now, you're not asking them for a quote right away. You're asking if they work with agents or if they can recommend one. Now, when you reach out, you need to be clear about what you're looking for. And most people will just say, hey, can you source this product? And they get some random quote with terrible terms. What you want to do is give them the full picture up front. So what product you need, what quantity that you're starting with, target shipping, is it 5 to 7 days, however many days, that you're planning to scale and want custom packaging eventually, that you need competitive pricing and alternate shipping options. So this positions you as someone who's serious, not just someone testing random stuff. Now you need to know exactly what to say and what questions to ask. So I put together a copy and paste message template that you can literally just send to agents. And it covers pricing, shipping times, MOQ, payment terms, custom packaging, all of it. It's gonna be in the description completely free. I'll create like a Notion document for you guys. Now, once you have your own agent, you're not just another dropshipper anymore. You've got someone working with you, negotiating for you, helping you scale. That is a completely different game. All right, so that is fulfillment and sourcing. Now the next step is getting traffic, which is actually getting people to your store, which is most people's biggest bottleneck. Let's get into it. And this is where I see a majority of people mess up. They think that they need to dump $1,000 into Facebook ads on day one and just hope and pray that something works. That is the wrong play if you're just starting out. Here's what I actually do if I were starting from zero today. I wouldn't reinvent the wheel. I'd use what's already out there. Look at your competitors. So the ones that you found in that validation phase, they're already running ads. They're already spending money figuring out what worked. They've tested different hooks, different angles, different formats. So why would you start from scratch? It doesn't really make sense, right? So what I would do is I would save their best performing ads. So the ones that have been running for weeks or months, the ones that have a ton of engagement, a lot of spend, the ones that they're creating iterations off of, those are going to be your controls, what you want to replicate essentially. Now, you're not going to rip their exact video and run it as is, but we're going to study it. So what's the hook? What's the problem that they're leading with? What is the format? Is it a UGC style? Is it a demonstration? Is it a testimonial? Are they running simply plain static image ads? You take that framework and you recreate it. So the same angle, the same structure, you just filmed fresh with your own spin on it. Now, look, if you're completely strapped for cash and short on time, you could hypothetically download their ads and re-edit them, cut them up differently, put them together and add your own text overlays, change the pacing, whatever. I don't really recommend doing this long-term because infringement, and also like you want to have your own original content. But for the initial testing, just to see if the concept works, it is an option. Just do it at your own discretion. But honestly, the best play is recreating the concepts with fresh footage. So even if you're filming from your own phone, that's totally fine. So once you've got your own content, whether it's recreated or your own version, here's how to actually test it. So you're gonna set up one campaign on Facebook, budget it at $50, one single ad set, entirely broad targeting. So you basically don't have to touch anything but the country that you plan to advertise to. Don't touch interest targeting, let Facebook figure it out. It does a much better job than you would. And in that one ad set, you're running anywhere from 5 to 10 different ad creatives. So different hooks, different angles, same product, same text copy. The only variable within all of these ad creatives is going to be the video itself. Let it run for 3 to 5 days, see which creatives are getting the best cost per purchase, and Facebook will naturally push more budget to what's working. This is your proof of concept phase. So once you see what's working, that is when you bring in UGC creators. So you get custom packaging, invest in better content, but you don't spend money on any of that until you've proven the concept works with the basic versions first. So validate with what's already proven, then scale with better creatives. Okay, so at this point, you've got the full framework. You know how to build products, validate them, build your store, get traffic. But here's the thing, knowing what to do and actually executing on it are two completely different things. And honestly, that's where most people get stuck. They know the steps, steps, but when it comes to actually launching the ads or knowing when to kill a campaign or when to scale, that is where they freeze up. So if you want one-on-one help from my team and I to walk you through this entire process, we'll help you find your products, set up your store, and literally tell you what to kill, what to scale, and how to run your campaigns. We've got a few spots open right now. We'll literally run your store like it's our own. Now, if you're interested to apply, it will be the first link in the description. All right, so now that you're making sales, you've got the traffic, you've got a product that works, money is coming in. This is where 99% of people just stop. They ride it until it dies and they're back to square one looking for the next product. That is the hamster wheel. But what separates the people who build real businesses from the people who are always starting over is this next part. I call it building Moats. And if you're not familiar with the term, a Moat is basically anything that protects your business from competitors. So it makes it harder to compete with. Look, everything that I've showed you up until this point, the product research, the store, the ads, anyone can copy that. Your competitors can see your ads, they can copy your story, they can source the same product, but what they can't copy is the stuff I'm about to show you. So here's what you need to focus on once you are starting to make sales. The first thing is customer data. From day one, you need to be collecting emails, phone numbers from every single person who buys from you, every single one of them. Because most people don't realize that getting someone to buy from you again is 10 times easier than finding a new customer from scratch. Most dropshippers don't do this. They make a sale, they fulfill the order, and that is it. They never talk to that customer again. That is leaving money on the table. You should be sending follow-up emails saying things like, hey, how was the product working for you? Here's how to get the most of it. Here are some other products that you may like. You're building a relationship, not just making a transaction. And this is where it gets really powerful. You can use this list for sales promos, recommended products, new product launches, discounts, and especially for big holidays like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas, when everyone's already in buying mode. You've got a list of people who already trust you, who have already bought from you. And over time, that customer list becomes your most valuable asset. Because when you launch a new product or you test something, you've got people who already trust you and already bought from you. That's your Moat. Customers can't copy your customer list. The second thing, custom packaging. Once you're doing consistent volume, anywhere from 100 to 150 orders a month, you need to start working on custom packaging. And I don't just mean slapping a logo on a box and calling it your custom packaging. I mean the whole experience. So branded boxes, thank you cards, inserts that show people how to use a product or what to buy next. Now, why does this matter? Because when someone gets your package and it looks like a real brand, not just some random thing from China, like a white box with whatever on it, they're way more likely to post about it or even keep the box. And you can just ask yourself, do you keep the Apple product boxes? I don't know how many Apple product boxes in my house because I don't want to throw them away because they're so nice. They feel valuable. They seem valuable. And when they post that content showing off your packaging, that becomes the protection. That's the content that your competitors can't fake. Third thing, manufacturer relationships. Once you're doing real volume, you stop sourcing from agents and you go directly to manufacturers. Now, this is where everything changes because when you're working with manufacturers, you can negotiate even further than what you were getting with your agent. You can customize the product. You can order in bulk and send inventory to, for example, a 3PL so that you get that shipping down to 3 to 5 days instead of 2 to 3 weeks. And most importantly, you can work with them to improve the product based on what your customers are telling you. So your competitors are still sourcing from either AliExpress or the same agents everyone else uses. You're working directly with the people making the product. Now, here's why this matters. 3 things: customer data, custom packaging, manufacturer relationships. They all compound. So the customer list grows every month. Your packaging gets better. Your relationships with manufacturers get stronger. Your margins improve. Your shipping gets faster. And all of that makes you harder and harder to compete with. You're not just a dropshipper anymore. You're building an actual brand. And that's what separates you from everyone else. All right, so look, I know this was a lot. And if you're sitting here thinking, okay, where do I even start? Just start with product research. Condition your feed tonight. Spend 20 minutes. See what you find. Because the biggest mistake people make is trying to do everything all at once. They want the perfect store, the perfect product, the perfect ads, all before they've even tested anything. So just start moving. You'll figure it out as you go. And if you want that agent template or any of the other links from this video, everything is in the description. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Let's get it. Peace.